Hi everyone. Welcome to episode 2 or episode 3. Third episode, the official second episode of Second Harmonics. Yeah. So I've been delaying this episode for about a week because I wanted to wait until the Coachella is wrapped up, and I wanted to put out some type of review video of Coachella, just because I was listening to it passively while I was doing something else. But it's a big event. It's probably one of the biggest event, and I love tuning into it and to some artists that I follow. But I also like to just have it in my background for 2 weeks, and then just enjoy, quote unquote, Couchella. So this week, it has been, or this Coachella seasons has been Couchella for me. But hopefully one day I'll go. I never had the chance to go. But let's start with what's been going on in terms of life as an icebreaker. And I got a haircut, so my head feels a little lighter. So that's a perk. That's a perks there. And a couple of my friends watched some last 2 videos, and then they wanted me to do the vertical video. Horizontal video instead of vertical video. So there we go, guys. Now it's horizontal, but I'm trying to dial in my camera angle because it's just long this way because it's horizontal, and then I don't know how to position it better. But hopefully it'll be improved as we go. But anyways, that's the icebreaker for today. But as I mentioned, it's going to be Coachella review, but I've been listening to passively for the last 2 weeks, doing other stuff, like house cleaning and things like that. And I just want to highlight what caught my attention, and then mostly what was familiar but still good, but also what's new in terms of what I learned, And then I think Coachella is an interesting festival because I think it's definitely one of the biggest, or it is the biggest. And also, it's a start of this entire festival season of the year. So if you take a look at the Coachella lineup, of course, there's an extension from last year's festival. The momentum kind of continues, but the Coachella is also a good festival to gauge in which type of artist or what artist will be in other festivals or even in tour. So it's good benchmark. It's sometimes too late, but it's also good benchmark, or just to follow trend about what type of artists will be doing a lot of activities or just active this year. So I think it'll be a nice thing to start off still beginning of the year, Q2 with. So let's just get started. I want to mention Turnstile first. Friday, Turnstile was playing, and of course, they've been on tour for a while, but they are still sounding amazing. I know this is becoming a lot more mainstream, and then it's kind of like an entry or easy entry for people who wants to get into hardcore or even metal. It's funny because I was in a party yesterday, and then someone asked me, "Oh, do you listen to metal music? Can you give me a recommendation?" And then I told him, "Well, why don't you just start with Turnstile? It's not hardcore, but it will give you an idea and then introduction to this type of music, and without having too high hurdles to get into this genre. So it's great for that. I really like I love Glow On album, but this Never Enough album is something I can just naturally recommend it to some people, even in party situation. If someone asks me, "Oh, what type of album should I first listen to, or what type of album do you like?" So I really appreciate how they've been putting out a little bit more entry-friendly thing, so I can convince my friends to listen to some of these musics. But anyways, in the Coachella, they were amazing. It was good to see some like biggish mosh pit going on in Coachella actually. So I liked how Brandon just kind of like encourage crowd to do make the mosh pit. And it's really just fun to have a wild mosh pit going on. Even in aftershock, like I really had such a fun in there. That was probably one of my first real mosh pit experiences. But uh, I the music just goes so much better, or the live performance goes so well with that type of activity. It's just part of culture. So I'm glad that some of the Coachella crowd got that introduction, and I really liked how they were enjoying on this music. Um, so a little bit of interesting story. This is Turnstile's first performance since uh, their former guitarist was arrested for hitting Brandon, the vocal's father, with a vehicle. So that was a little bit, hard things going on for the band. So, but still, they opened with the Brandon's father's, introduction, which was sort of touchingly emotional and things like that. But it was a nice intro. Um, Glad that it's that they performed well even with that kind of things going on in the background. But yeah, it was pretty much an emotionally charged, cathartic, and things like that. But of course, the energy was just so amazing, and then it was just like any of their other performances where the crowd was really vibing to the music, and the performance was just as amazing as usual. And funny thing, the Blood Orange was also performing in Coachella this year. And one of my favorite songs from Turnstile is Alien Love Call, which they did the collab with the Blood Orange. So I was kind of expecting, oh, can I hear Alien Love Call for once live in Coachella or something? But no, they didn't put that in a set list, which was a little bit of a bummer for me. But at least Blood Orange collab or kind of happened when they were playing Seeing Star in the first week, so that was pretty cool. But oh man, I would have really loved to see a Alien Love Call. Hopefully something later in the year. I think they're also performing in some festival together. But it'll be really nice to see that live performances. But again, I just thought I'm gonna start with Turnstile with the review because it's something it's a band I've been mentioning. It's been good, good reviews and things like that, and then it's something something I'm familiar with as well. So I wanted to kick off with Turnstile. Cannot recommend it enough for you guys. And it's really good foot in the door if you want to get into this hardcore or metal music. It has melodies, so it's really easier to listen to than just jumping straight into hardcore thing. Unless you're really into those kind of things and then just want to just deep dive straight in. But I feel like the metal music and hardcore music's it's great when you're just casually listening to it as well. I really like listening to just analytically of these musics. It's just impressive what they're doing there. But it's also such a fun experience going to these concerts. Any live performance is definitely better than recordings, but especially hardcore or hot metal genres, it's so much fun. The culture is just amazing, and then I really enjoy being involved in that crowd. So the Coachella performance also reflected that energy back, even to my couch through YouTube. So I really liked how that was delivered. And their entire performances, they're mentioning some themes about love and how hardcore community is actually full of that, and they're kind of welcoming. So, they were doing a great job in introducing people of their what they represent, I guess, and then their role right now, I guess, is that kind of introduction to this genre, and then yeah, making it popular. So, anyways, highlights that energy, delivering that energy, Blood Orange collab, and yeah. So, uh, there are there are a couple YouTube videos out there of their performances, so recommend watching it if you guys missed it. But they'll be performing in Outsideland as well, so that's exciting. I think they're performing in Lola as well, so yeah, they'll be on tour or on the road for a while. Second artist. Let's move on. Um, I didn't know this artist too well before Coachella, but it's an artist called Blanchel. I think she played as one of the first, opening kind of thing in the early in the day. Uh, but I was just casually listening to Coachella, like just doing something else as my quote unquote white noise. But this artist definitely caught my attention. As I've been mentioning in past episodes, I really like powerful female vocals with the powerful band sound at the background, like Hayley Williams and Suki Waterhouse I mentioned before. By the way, Suki Waterhouse's album is dropping this year. I'm looking forward to that. But anyways, but her voice and her music was kind of reminding me of those two uh, artists. So that's why it caught my attention. So I guess she also opened for Wet Leg, which is a band also I wanted to see in Outsideland, apparently in LA, a couple not long ago. So I guess that links pretty well, and then or aligns pretty well with the music that I'm liking, I guess. But so that I thought that was interesting. And then I really liked her first album. I think it is called Blanchel. And the single Docket. That's a single song they released. And the EP they released, I believe. But single Docket was just kind of immediately added into my playlist, SB26, Spring 26 playlist. It's just type of music I really love. So highly recommend listening to it. It's just kind of like a band sound with powerful female vocals again. But if you're into those Haley Paramore, Suki Waterhouse, those type of music, I think like indie female vocal musics, I think this is a good one. And then this artist was a good one. So it was very raw, unpolished but precise, like intimate, even in quite a big of a stage, I guess. So I really liked her performance there. It was very powerful, delivered really well, and I think one of the YouTube video that Coachella put out is Kiss City, which is song that she performed, which is I believe in first album. So apparently it took her 6 months to get the guitar tone just right for this. That's such a dedication for one. I don't know how. I'm no music producer. I've never written a song by myself, but as a hobby guitar player, I know tone setting up the tone is probably the best part about that. But still, 6 months to dial in your tone for this single song, that is crazy. That's such an amount of dedication. It's almost like a research. Consider you're, I don't know, like master's, PhD student, and you basically dedicated your entire semester for one guitar tone. And yeah, that kind of shocked me, but it was also pretty cool to get a peek of session of some artist trying to get things, dial things like right for her taste. And yeah, I kind of thought that was pretty interesting as a gear nerd and also a hobby guitar player. So this song's performance was also pretty nice, so I highly recommend watching that back in YouTube. Also great songs to just kind of play in the background when you're doing things, and but I really like this type of vocals and this song, so it really caught my attention. So apparently this Coachella was her first festival ever she played in, and for the first type of this performance, she killed it. It was really nice. I don't know if there's a lot of live performances of her out there and for this Coachella performances, but you know, like I gotta admit that I don't. I try to tune in for entire Coachella, but it's sometimes hard when you're it's if it's Friday or if it's Saturday, and then you're out there doing things like that, doing things or just working in general. It's kind of hard to tune in sometimes early on, but I was able to tune in for this one, but it was 100% worth it. But I'm glad I got to discover this artist uh, throughout this year's Coachella. So that's probably one of my biggest takeaway, maybe, of tuning in both weekends and for extended times. So yeah, if you're into the musics that I've been recommending or I've been mentioning about, she's a good artist to check out. Um, so let's move on. I wanted to mention first week's surprise act, Jack White. He's for those of you who don't know who Jack White is. He is the guitarist from the White Stripes, and then he's being going solo act for a while now. And that poster, the blue poster over there, is when I went to Jack White's performance about 2 years ago near my town. So I got to see him live. He probably was probably the best guitarist I've seen, at least in terms of my live performance experiences. So he just guy just comes in, just delivers always. But I know he was headlining a while back in Coachella, but he got a small stage, I guess, in a tent because it was kind of like a surprise thing. He wasn't really announced artist. But man, him doing that in the middle of the day, he wow, that was kind of insane. Like I think he performed at like 3 p.m. or something when the sun is just up there, but crowd was really electric there. Um, if you haven't been to or watched any of Jack White or White Stripe performances, he has so many cool riffs. If you're a guitar guy, you'll really appreciate it. Um, but when I guess his kind of past my generation, but um, I really, whenever I listen to his music, it just makes me want to pick up guitar and just practice right away. And then his live performances, is man, like he has so many cool riffs, and he just shreds it all the time in there. It doesn't have to be fancy, also. Sometimes, but he, the way he just plays, his tone especially, and then his like manner of performance is just so electric. And then it's just he's just kind of master of this. So it was good to see crowd reacting to it in the middle of the day, just like if it was some type of headlining performances. It was nice to see that, and he was just delivering. He just makes wherever he is, he just makes it a main stage really. Even in the small theater, I watched him because that one was kind of surprised they added to his tour. Uh, it was a small venue, but like sound was so full there, and then everyone was just kind of going crazy in there. Um, and I kind of went to that performance alone back then, and then I know how the energy is. I didn't feel bored or anything because I didn't know anyone there, but it's just music itself. Listening to him play was just worth going impulsively just by myself. And I think Coachella stage just delivered that energy. Crowd was very excited to see him. His guitar is just always masterclass. Um, and then uh, yeah, and at least I don't think he did it in this round of performances too much, but at least from my live performance experiences, in one song he was just switching three guitars around for just different type of style, and then man, that was kind of just wild to watch that. But again, here he uses different guitar. His signature, triple caster, such a feature packed guitar, but he just, I mean, it's his signature, but the it's such a feature packed thing. Though it's just impressive how he just uses all of that feature and then plays the music. He's probably closest thing you get to Jimi Hendrix, I guess, in this modern day. But wow, is and then he also switches guitar for the low tone baritone almost guitar kind of things, and also delivers with that. Like the cool thing about Jack White's song is um I don't know if he actually uses baritone guitar, but the guitar kind of has like this distortion in the very low frequency tone. It almost sounds like a bass, but he just makes some cool rips out of that, and I really love that too. And I think with bass, that type of strong distorted bass does in a festival really is it makes people go crazy. If you're in that environment and then you're listening to that low frequency tones um in live, and then you can really feel the sound waves also, that kind of makes your heart pound. So I think that energy really delivered well, especially in that tent environment where he performed in, and crowd was just feeling that energy in there. So no, he's what can I say? He's just goat. um, but he only played for 45 minutes. But he just made the most out of that 45 minutes. It was short and very impactful performance. And then it was just filling that stage with just rock music as much as possible. And then I like how some comments were, "Oh, this is what Coachella used to be." Um, but I am glad that this rock music is kind of getting back into the mainstream. Better for me. Whoever I enjoy these band rock music, and then more mainstream it goes. No matter what people say, there's just more options to listen to. I hope there's a good artist coming up. New artists coming up, and then just last long, so I can enjoy the music in general. But I feel like Jack is just delivering that classical generation of rock music to the younger crowds in Coachella, and I think that was amazing. And then the energy I felt from his live performance was such a unforgettable experience. And watching some masterclass guitarists like that is just you know um, always worth and lifetime experience. So um, yeah, I'm glad that he delivered all of his performances there, and it was just kind of exciting to see him just doing things last minute, but also just you know um, just full effort. So yeah, I really loved his performance. That's why I wanted to mention him. Um, so some of I'm not gonna go over too much of headliner talks. A lot of things are out there. But Sabrina, I'm just gonna talk slightly about it, and then I'm gonna move on to honorable mentions of some artists. But Sabrina, is one of the artists I really like. I've been funny enough. The way I discovered her was through Alan Walker music. Um, After listening to her featuring song, I wanted to listen to her more because I think her original voice is are kind of like husky tone or powerful tone, unlike what she's doing it right now through Man-Child album and things like that. Um, but so I really liked her music after discovering her back in 2019. The previous album, that's how I got into her really. So I'm glad that she's headlining finally after making that promise, after putting on the espresso. But the 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 entire stage was so fun to watch. Nicely designed and done. From her team, production team, I guess. It was a nice show to watch. Her perform, and but I'm kind of like sure she has a lot of hits now, but I kind of wish as a fan who likes her older music, I wish that she played a little bit more of her older musics. Um, but anyways, yeah, uh, but it was overall a nice song. I'm glad she's headlining and she's a big shot now. Um, as someone who was listening to her back in like 2019 with her Singular Act album. Um, but yeah, it was just nice to see her. And some I really liked it when she brought out her older, voice or singing method, I guess, of just kind of a little bit of thicker tone. I guess I'm just a sucker for that kind of vocals. But I'm sad she didn't play Vicious or Tornado Warning. Those two were my favorite songs also. But anyways, enough of that. Justin Bieber, I'm just surprised that they brought him out. But I was watching it with my friend at my friend's house. Bit surprised when he was just scrolling through YouTube, but I guess like who else can do that? It's just Justin Bieber. That's just his career, so he's allowed to do that. Uh, but yeah, it was nice to see him. He's just really, oh man, his voice is really good now. I really like his voice now too. Um, I really liked his Yukon performance. I don't know why recording was like octave higher or something, but the live performance version was so much better than the recording. So that's something I wanted to mention before moving on to Carol G. I I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch her performance. I was just I'm gonna mention Big Bang later. As typical Korean, I have to, as someone who grew up watching them, and it was just nostalgia. So I need to review Carol G's performance. But I heard the guitarist from Cigarette After Sex was playing as her session. So that's fun. That's exciting. So I gotta review that. Cigarette After Sex is another artist I really like. So, but anyways, I looked at her stage design and some of her performances. Wow, her performance looked really fun, huge scale. I was like, what is going on here? It almost kind of reminded me of Lady Gaga performance last year. So so I gotta go review that. But I really like how I guess diverse Coachella's lineup is now. So not only like mainstream artists, but Latin and Big Bang is Asian, Korean. I guess Korean artists are big in Coachella, anyways. But and some European artists, and yeah, it's just I feel like the good thing about Coachella is no matter what cultural background you are from, you can go there and enjoy no matter what. So I really appreciate them doing that, and just it's really good opportunity to see what cultural diversity or cultural music is out there too. So if you want to explore some culture or explore some type of music in the or you just want to get to know different type of music in there, cultural music in a festival, I think Coachella is such a great experience, and you get to hang out with those people who are in those cultures. So it's just nice experience, learning opportunity in general, I believe. Uh, yeah, enough of that yapping. So honorable mentions before I go to Big Bang. Slater. Uh, I knew who she was. But I didn't really listen to her like songs too much unless it just randomly popped up while I was working out, and then I'm like, oh, this is good music. But anyways, um, apparently, she didn't have too much of a big budget. She played during the day early, like 3 p.m. again, I guess, around that time. But she apparently made the outfit herself, and not too many budgets, but she just killed it in that performance. I think the stage was too small for her. Like she almost reminded me of Charlie performance. And I really liked how live band was brought out for her music. I feel like that sounded so much more rich compared to the recordings. It just sounded so full. Maybe it's just a female vocal and band thing again. She was very like powerful. Her vocal was very powerful in delivery, but I really liked that performance. I know she was getting a lot of viral attentions after that performance. I swear it is that vocal. People love this thing. It's not only me. It just hit very different with that band sound at the background. So I recommend that. And then I also want to mention 9-inch Noise. So apparently this is a collab between 9-inch Nails and Nin. So I didn't really know who they were. But while I was tuning in, like there was some red light flashing all over the place. So I was like, what is going on my TV? And I kind of tuned in for it. And then it was some type of futuristic performance going on. It was like there was some rock plus EDM thing going on. And then the performance, like stage design, was like something you will see from Dune or something. So that was just very eye catching. But I really after just okay, so it was initially just eye catching, got my attention, made me to sit down and watch. Uh, so yeah, apparently, and then they just dropped like some surprise album during the live performance at Coachella. So that was exciting, and like it was an introduction to another new uh, band or collab act, I guess, for me. But wow, 9-inch Nails is one of those like I guess OGs in the era, but I didn't know the vocal guy. He was like 60 something years old, but man, he was still very powerful in delivery of his performances, very enthusiastic, and I was surprised that he's trying something new like that. Like I wish I really like how like some of these OGs try something new, progressive, innovative, and just delivers and it hits you. And the things that Jack White, he's just doing what he was doing, and then some of these like rock musics are becoming mainstream, and then he just presents was kind of delivered well to the public throughout for his performance, as well as the Strokes as well. They were just doing whatever they were doing, but as this type of music becomes more mainstream, I think the OGs performing there are just showing the younger crowd how it's like. But when they like for example, like 9-inch Noise, when they're doing something innovative, like mix EDM to what they were doing, that also appeals pretty well, at least to me, because I know like DJing and EDM and electronic music is also big. Raving and things like that is a big culture out there as well. But when things gets mixed up like this, it's such an exciting thing to see. And then stage design was also very futuristic. Maybe it's just implication of you can do music like this too. You can mix two very different genres together, and then you can deliver. So that was fun to watch. Uh, Geese also is honorable mention I want to include here. I've been mentioning them, and I'm very excited to see them in Outside Land. But I intentionally didn't watch their live performance. I only just peeked through their YouTube clips just because I want to get a full experience in Outside Land and then not get spoiled. But again, man, that they just deliver. Uh, it the they're a really great band. I'm so excited to see in Outside Land. It's kind of like a hype to me. Like 4 months before hype for before the Outside Land, and I go see them. So just making sure the guys are in good shape. But yeah, their performance, at least from a clip, looked very great. So I recommend you guys checking them out. Last but not least, but Big Bang. I wanted to mention them last because, to me, as someone who graduated elementary school, lived in Korea till I was 12, 13, 12, yes, 12. They're just my childhood. They're the goats for me. um, and then they haven't dropped the album for like I don't know, like 2017 or something like that. It's been a while, almost 10 years. Uh, they had a lot going on. Two of the members are out of teams for whatever reasons. There's some, it's too deep in there. I'm not gonna mention it, but they're trying. This is their 20th anniversary, and then I think they're trying to release or drop a new album. And they also announced a world tour during Coachella. Starts at August. But I'm glad to see them just back. I went to G Dragon's tour when I was in high school back in 2017. Before he went to military. But I think his voice is not like fully back, but this is probably the best form I've seen since he's been back. But I really miss Big Bang performing live. And then it just took them too long to get to Coachella. I feel like they should have played when it was their prime. It would have been gone just very popular and electric. They're the OGs of K-pop. But like the thing about them, why they're so popular is, you don't get this many guy fans. If you're like boy band or something in K-pop, but why they're so popular is the G Dragon, he writes all the songs. But like you should just kind of review all the songs. It's just there's something that hits me as a Korean background, and then the way he performs, and just like him like that person himself has such an aura of like being a just peak artist. It's just, I don't know what to say. It's just like every guy's wannabe kind of thing. I don't know how else to describe it, but they always have been good, have had a good music, but their live performance has been very good. They never missed, and I'm glad that I get to see a little bit peak of that. I don't think everyone was 100% other than Taeyang, which he was just killing it like both days. But I'm just kind of glad to see them just delivering and then announcing a world tour and an album there, and then they actually played their old songs. Those songs are popular when I was in elementary school, and it feels so different when you're listening to them. Those songs, like almost 20 years later. Now I'm 25. Going just and back then when I was listening to that, I was an elementary school student. So it was a lot of nostalgia. But I'm glad they're back. Last time I saw G Dragon perform live was 2017, so that was like 9 years ago. Uh, I hope his voice is fully back by World Tour, but I'm just glad that they're getting started now. Um, Another fun thing was Taesung, another member. He was firing up a trot, which is sort of like Korean traditional genre, I would say. It's not something that you find out there in other part of the world. I don't know what to say, but like I feel like younger generations, like even my parents' generation, don't really like that music. It's just more of a my grandparents' generation type of thing. But uh, Big Bang's just Big Bang. They have like just rights to do whatever they want, and then the songs he played are quite old songs. But like even in my elementary school, just because like member of Big Bang put out that genre, it was popular song. Then to be honest, it is pretty fun to watch. But the fact that they were doing that in U.S. In U.S. crowd slash performance was just kind of shocking to me. It's like I have a Korean background, like I'm that's my roots. Uh, and I went to like what middle school, high school, college, and I'm just living in U.S. and I'm like, who else can do this other than them? Like if you just hire some random throat singer, wow, I'm just struggling to pronounce it with English pronunciation. I'm just conflicted between Korean, but anyways, if you hire those like that type of genre singer and then make them perform, I don't think anyone will pay to see them. It's Big Bang. That's why people are out there, and then they can just do this. But like, okay, the comments, if you take a look at it, like people are like, "Is this guy crazy? Like, is this actually happening?" And then everyone was just laughing. But man, like the fact that they had the guts to do this after coming back for such a long time, also that they didn't lose anything. Like they're still there. I'm very excited for to see their future act, world tour. Obviously, I'm gonna try to go, and it just this personally, someone who has a Korean roots, it just hits me personally with my cultural background, and it's just kind of beyond music to me. It's part of my childhood there, and then it was very emotional as well, because it's kind of like bringing my part of my childhood to my 20s now. So that was exciting to see. I feel like a lot of Korean from my generation will feel that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I wanted to keep brief because Coachella topic. If you go on and on and on, you can probably talk all day. It's a good drinking topic as well. Uh, so I just kind of want to close here. It's already hitting 44-minute mark. Um, so what's coming up? I'm excited to see Haley Williams finally in 2 weeks and May 10th. Maybe my next video will be that review. So maybe potentially Outside Land Turnstile. Please do not overlap with Charlie XCX. That's just what I'm hoping for. But next up is Haley Williams for me. And I also purchased a ticket for Wolfpack's Berkeley concert. I'm going with a couple of my friends. Second, 2 years in a row of seeing Wolfpack's live performance. Very excited. This one is smaller venue instead of Red Rock. Red Rock was very cool, but it's like Greek theater. So I did see them quite close back in Red Rock, but hopefully this one, it's a smaller venue, which I prefer for just intimate mood and then just being more connected with artists. So I'm very excited for that in October. And yeah, also it was very good hype for seeing Geese in Outside Land as well. So I'm glad I tuned into Coachella, and yeah, got to discover Bombshell and Nine Inch Noise. and I guess the Slater is one of my discovery as well. And just good to see Jack White live any day. So this year's Coachella was a lot of nostalgia. Uh, from I guess Sabrina is part of nostalgia. Jack White, Justin Bieber, obviously, and Big Bang was probably the biggest thing, but also new discovery like Bombshell. Good to see Turnstile. I'm still killing it out there, and very excited for upcoming Gee's performances and Wet Like performance. She was also pretty good. That the band as a whole was really good out there in the performing in the main stage. So yeah, I guess I have all those notes, but it still feels so unorganized. But that's it for this episode, or just my version of Coachella review. I feel like I just kind of ranted all the way over for whatever I was doing. But hopefully, that's another lesson for me, organize better as I speak. But I tried to use a little bit more colorful adjectives this episode, at least, learning from the last episode and reviewing. So hopefully you guys felt it that way. Hopefully there's artists that I mentioned you guys haven't checked out yet, so you can review or just feel connected in terms of what the genre of music I like. So hopefully that's also a good introduction for those of you who wants to get into this, and a little bit of starting point for what type of artist to listen to. So yeah, that's it. Until next time, thank you.